We keep proclaiming the Philippines is Ophir, Sheba, and Tarshish. Well, we proved that. Now, to find Sheba specifically, did you know this area has still retained the very name Sheba to this day, in Hebrew even? Watch us prove out that Sebu is in fact the biblical Sheba. And just wait till you see where this leads in Hebrew. One of the most ancient and precious of words, and it's still retained in this island and city today. That is no coincidence. Welcome to 100 Clues. The Philippines is the ancient land of gold known as Ophir in the Bible and history. No, it's no fable, and this has already been proven in full in the God Culture Solomon's Gold series. At the request of many viewers, we have pulled out 100 compelling clues, really proofs or evidences from this research, in which we will highlight briefs of the most compelling points. And yes, there are over 100. These videos are for those who have not had time to watch Solomon's Gold series. Excellent for small groups and assemblies and even schools, which we have some using this already, and easy to share to friends and family, especially skeptics. This brief video cannot replace that 50 video series of evidence, nor prove the way that it does, but this will be very effective nonetheless. So go to Solomon's Gold series for full evidence, but now, part 37 of our series, 100 Clues, the Philippines is Ophir, one clue at a time. First, is this a coincidence? In Matthew 12:42, we showed you before, Messiah calls the Queen of Sheba the Queen of the South. Funny, Sebu is called the Queen City of the South to this day. And the word Sheba means 7, and just a coincidence, of course, Sebu happens to be in region 7 of the Philippines. Or is it? Well, when we look at the true origins of this word Sebu in Hebrew, yes, Hebrew, we have no doubt these are not by chance. So there is no C in the ancient Philippine languages mostly. In fact, ancient Babayin has no C, but it has an S, or a K, but in this case, S. Ancient maps of Sebu never indicate a C, but an S or Z, which are really the same. And even Pigafetta, who traveled with Magellan, renders it as ZUBU. Here we see SEBOE, ZEBU, and ZUBU in these three references. Neither has a C, and you'll see this over and over again in the most ancient of maps. Now, some linguists make the giant leap, and it is massive, that Sugbu is the origin of this word Sebu. And that is just a guess, and not an academic one, really. There is no such record ever. No map ever records Sebu as Sugbu, or even close. SEBU and ZEBU, Sebu. And one of the earliest maps from 1646 really tells so much more, as the name of Sebu is recorded as Sabat. Wait, this word we well know, for it is the Hebrew word for Sabbath, Shabbat. Sabbat. What? How did that get on an early map as the name of Sebu? Well, actually, because all of these words are all variants of the same word and concept in Hebrew. Check this out. First, the direct word Sebu, S-E-B-U, is Hebrew, as Shin, Beit, Bet, Wa. Sebu. Same spelling even. And plural would be Sebuyim. It means take captive. Now this leads to Sheba, a variant of the same origin word for all three of these. We'll cover this next. Sheba means oath, like in covenant, and it also means 7. Why? Adam formed covenant with Yahuwah on the very 7th day. Yes, the 7th day of creation, the day when Yahuwah rested. The 7th. Before you dismiss the connection to Sebu, realize to take captive is to surrender oneself to one's captor. Thus, it is an oath, and exactly what we do when we form covenant with Yahuwah. These words are the same, just variants of each other. Then, we have the third word, Sabbat, which is the Hebrew word Shabbat or Sabbath, or Sabbat, all the same. The 7th day of rest, also established on the 7th day of creation. Are you getting this? These are different names, but all point to Sheba. Now, we'll bring this together, and this is amazing. The origin word for Sheba, Sebu, and Sabbat, the three words we just covered, is actually rendered today by the Pharisees, who can't seem to read Hebrew for some reason, nor render it properly far too often, and no doubt this is intentional. They render it Shavuot. This is the Feast of Weeks from Scripture, established not by Moses, no, but from the 7th day of creation. We'll show you. As it is the first Sabbath and day of covenant renewal. And it means weeks, 7 days, periods of 7. Oath, just like Sheba and Sebu. And 7, again, just like Sheba. These words are all wrapped together as variants of each other from this ancient word. Look at the word, though. It does not end with a T. No, the rabbis are just wrong on this. I don't know how you can look at an ayin and call it a T. It is never a T in Hebrew, period. Not even modern, really, but certainly not ancient Hebrew. They're not understanding, and they are definitely mixing in this case. And they know better. They certainly know better. It's rather fraudulent. It has no V as ancient Hebrew has no V. Now, we prove that in the Name of God series. But in order for Hebrew to have this same letter, bet or V, and what they call in modern times, which didn't exist in ancient times, vet or V, which are the same letter, the only thing that differentiates them is a punctuation mark to differentiate them, a dot in the center. And see, here's the problem with that. It's absolute nonsense, because in ancient texts, which we now have, especially the Dead Sea Scrolls, no such dot ever appears in all of any writing in ancient Hebrew. Thus, it was never there. This is always a B, always. It is never a V. I know there is a Pharisee out there today traveling around with that one. And let me tell you, even his own peers do not agree with him. Notice, they do not even agree with themselves, as Sheba has the same letter, and it's B, not V. So they apply it however they want to. Understand that the Hebrew shin is S or SH, either one, And again, there is no way in ancient times to differentiate that. So far more likely, it's actually just an S, not an SH. But SH is fine. The vowels here are not actually in the words, as they have no vowel points. They weren't added until 1000 AD. Yet Hebrew was somehow understood for thousands of years. People could read it, write it, and understand it without vowel points. In other words, it never needed vowel points because it is a phonetic language that can be pronounced consonant to consonant. The vowels fill in the sounds. Shavuot or Shabua is the actual word, even in dictionaries. In all fairness to rabbis, it's even in their dictionary that way, yet they still render it publicly, Shavuot, Shavuot, Shavuot. Why? Well, we'll cover that in another video. SBU. But the last letter is Ayin, which is a silent. Now, sometimes we're told that that can be pronounced as an A. You are literally looking at the same word as Sebu, S-B-U, Shin, Beit, Wa. As the Ayin is silent, really. Now, then look at Sheba, and it's the same, but S-B-A this time instead of U. Sebu and Sheba are variants of Shabua, what they call Shavuot. These are the same word, so S-B-U-A, and then we have S-B-U and S-B-A. All derivatives of this ancient word for the very first Sabbath, which we're going to prove out in the very next video. We have a feast to honor on this day, Shavuot, or really Shabua, every year, the day of covenant renewal. We'll show you. In the next video, we'll explain its significance, and this will really make you realize just how much this land matters to Yahuwah. He has not forgotten, and it will be restored according to his own words. We'll get there too. But one last observation. Why is it that Sebu, which derives from the first Sabbath on the seventh day of creation, take the shape and placement on the map of a rib on a rib cage within the Philippine archipelago, which forms something very similar to a woman in appearance on the map? Yet another coincidence? We think not. For Adam's rib was used to create Eve in the very land of creation, which is known as the Philippines today. And that is where the first Sabbath, Shabua, Sheba, Sebu, took place. Now, let's define the meaning of Shabua, and this is going to really bring this home in the next video. And this, my friends, is one of the most important videos we have ever done. Don't miss it. As we keep saying and supporting over and over again, there is no debating. The Philippines is the land of gold in all of history. It is time this knowledge be restored. For those about to comment in ignorance, yep, we always get them, we dare you to watch Solomon's Gold series by The God Culture, the original channel to prove the Philippines is in fact Ophir. All else are copycats, and not good ones from what we've seen so far. Even here, we are breaking these into sound bites and clear points, but watch how all 100 clues tie together, and this series will blow you away. Thank you for watching 100 Clues. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the bell and like us on our new Facebook, The God Culture __ Original. If you wish to skip ahead, go to the God Culture YouTube channel and watch our Solomon's Gold series in English or Tagalog. There will be a link on the next screen. We can know this truth and be confident this belongs to the Philippines, and no one can disprove it. Until next time.